This is the mighty yellow ambassador, the taxi car that once ruled the streets of Kolkata. Today I am going to paint it and show it to you in a stepwise approach so that you can also try one of those. Hello guys, welcome back. Thanks for joining me today. This is a 10x12" double primed canvas and this is the reference picture. I do sketch all my paintings before starting to paint, whether it be on a toned canvas or a white canvas. In this case, I am going to sketch on a white canvas as I want to keep it as basic as possible. Now for the sketch, you can either freehand it or use any of the image transfer techniques like projection, grid, carbon transfer, etc. Here I am not going to use any image transfer techniques as I am planning to change the composition of the image from the reference picture. The reference just shows a yellow ambassador in the backdrop of a cityscape, but what I want to paint is the mighty yellow ambassador car. So I am planning a composition in which the yellow ambassador is going to be the sole focal point or the hero of the story, and the cityscape and the clouds are going to be sort of supporting characters. The car is being sketched in a two-point perspective, of which one vanishing point is inside the canvas and the other is outside. So I created a grid using Brewer method to help me with the perspective lines. Then I drew the yellow ambassador in the reference onto the canvas, but with a different perspective which was strong enough to give a mighty look to the car. The painting usually starts with the sky. Sky is painted in blue with a gradient ranging from light to dark except in places where the clouds are seen. Sky far away is painted in light blue and nearby sky is painted dark blue. In reality, there is no such object called a sky, and the blue sky we perceive is just an illusion, whereas clouds are real objects. Hence, the sky is painted with a flawless, perfect gradient of blue, and clouds are painted as real objects with highlights, shadows, and midtones. Here, once the gradient of sky was established in blue, I proceeded with painting the clouds. Payne's grey is a perfect midtone for the clouds. Shape and type of clouds vary greatly, and that allows artists to have some liberties while painting them. But for realism to work, it's better if you paint any of the four most common type of clouds, that is cirrus, cumulus, stratus, and nimbus. You can Google search these words to look at the images and study characteristics of each type. The clouds painted here are cumulus type, which are thick white clouds with dark shadows. As clouds are real objects, technique of painting any of the above mentioned types are the same, that is, blocking the canvas with midtones and adding in shadows and highlights. Here the shadows are painted with darker shades of Payne's grey and highlights with titanium white. The brightest part of the cloud, that is commonly called the silver lining formed by the reflected sunlight, is usually painted with thick block of the whitest paint you have. In my case, it's titanium white. Once finished with the sky, I mixed a few shades of colors to block the part of the canvas other than the car. The shades mixed are the midtones of the buildings in the background, the trees, and the road. All these midtones are applied onto the canvas to block their respective areas. As you can see, the building in the background are shades of peach, the foliage is shade of olive green, and the road is shades of grey and blue. This coat is applied without hard edges and it helps in the illusion of blurry background. Once this becomes dry, we can start adding the details to these particular areas to finish off the job. Since those parts have just supporting roles in the composition, heavy detailing is not expected. Detailing in the background is started with the buildings. One thing to remember is in background we don't do absolute detailing. What we do is creating an illusion of detailing. The background here is too far away to make out any finer details. Furthermore, it's just a background and sort of irrelevant compared to the main object. But we cannot simply ignore the background also. Some artists prefer just a single blurry coat of midtones. Some may paint another coat over the first layer but keeping the edges smooth and blurry. The point of doing the second layer is to give kind of finishing to the background, and the details are seldom added. But in my approach, which is shown here, the background is painted with a single coat of midtones without hard edges, and selective detailing of the background is done. Details such as larger shadows are painted without fail. Highlights are visible from a distance and are also painted. Also, I try to keep the silhouette clean because in a larger picture, if you are looking at an object from a distance, silhouette is the first thing to strike your mind. Also, contrasting structures in the silhouette, like a pole in the top of the building or a lightning conductor, may contrast with the light blue sky and are noticeable from a distance. I also try to add a few birds in the background. It helps in giving a reference of size of objects in the picture and adds another layer, thereby adding to the depth of the painting. If you are enjoying this tutorial or find it helpful, now is the time to hit that like button so that it reaches more people. Thank you. Once the detailing of the background is over, we proceed to painting the hero of the story, the yellow ambassador. Before painting the body of the car, the reflection in the windshield and glasses are painted. The blurry background seen through the glass is also painted. Since the car is not an image transfer from the reference picture and adapted by my composition, the reflection and structures seen through also changes accordingly. But in any case, the structures seen inside the car are usually painted with a high dark tone unless there is a light source shining inside the car. The reflected light from the glass is usually painted with your whitest white. Once the glasses are covered, we proceed to painting the body of the car. Here we block the canvas white with the midtones, in this case different shades of yellow, and a mixture of yellow with cadmium orange and burnt sienna in areas of shadow. Structures like the front grille or the front guard and the headlights are left unpainted, as those structures need special attention. Now we have to do the detailing in the body of the car. Detailing needs attention to the shape, shadows, highlights, texture, and in this case, the reflected light from the body of the car due to its shiny texture. This shiny texture is the sole reason why this painting was even tried, so you cannot screw up there. Here, the video is in a time-lapse mode because the process here is detailing, which is quite boring to watch, do, or explain. I honestly don't know how to explain this, but all you have to understand is that the car is in a single shade of yellow. All the shadows, highlights, and reflections are formed in the surface of this yellow car due to its interaction with the surrounding structures and light. So, to help with the realism, it's recommended that you always go in a layered approach. Here, after the initial color blocking, I added subtle texturing to the surface with a darker yellow, that is yellow ochre, and then added shadows. Shadows are dealt with the darkest yellow or the burnt sienna. The reflected light need not always be white. It can take the color of the surface from where it's getting reflected. For example, the reflected light in the windshield of this car is bluish in color. Once finished with the body of the car, the structures left to paint are the headlights, front grille, front guard, and the tires. The technique of painting and detailing of these structures also are similar to that of the body of the car. But the texture of all these structures differ greatly. The front guard is a much shinier structure compared to the body of the car. Tires are made of rubber and doesn't reflect much light. A number plate adds to the realism of the composition. Front grille is painted dark and the straight lines in the grille are added with the help of a ruler. The red and green stripes in the front guard are also painted with the help of a ruler. As I said earlier, the front guard is made of steel and is a much shinier structure. Hence, the highlights are added with your whitest white. And last but not the least, make sure you sign your painting. Hope you all are confident enough to try one of these yellow ambassador paintings. Do try it, and if you have any doubts, ask them in the comment section. If you have reached up to this watching the video, thank you so much for spending your time with me. Don't forget to subscribe and share this video to like-minded people. You can also follow me at Jinju Art in Facebook and Instagram. If you wish to purchase any of my paintings and prints including the yellow ambassador painting, do visit jinjuart.com. And if you loved watching this, here is a video that I think you should watch next. That's all from the video, guys. See you all in the next. Till then, take care and bye bye.